Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me clearly. Today we are going to cover funding solutions for LGBTQ entrepreneurs. So my name is Jimmy Harrell. I am one of the sales consultants up here at Credit Suite. So I will be covering about 30 or so slides here, so should be able to knock this out in about 30 minutes. Any questions, please share. We'll reach out to you. Also, I'll give some contact information here as well. So we're going to dive right in, try to make this quick and informative. So we'll dive right in. Again, we're covering funding solutions for LGBTQ entrepreneurs. So Ty Crandall, our CEO, there's some information here. Of course, his book, if you haven't read it, I recommend reading that. But there's some contact information for Credit Suite. Again, if you have any questions, you can email or call our direct hotline there. All right. So are you a business owner who identifies as LGBTQ? So we all know discrimination can run rampant. There are not always legal protections for those business owners. And in addition, the LGBTQ community is more likely to struggle with financial instability. And as a whole, the community has higher rates of poverty and homelessness. So all of these reasons why it is so important to look into alternate funding solutions, which we're going to cover today. The LGBTQ community also tends to have lower incomes than the general population, but they can still succeed, right? So here are 7 financing options just for you. Right? So as hopeful as the colors of the rainbow. So we're going to go start with seeking out and qualifying for supplier diversity programs, okay? So a lot of information is going to be shared through these slides, a lot of education, and a lot of, hey, if you haven't tried this, try here, go here, here's a website, here's Chamber of Commerce. So we'll cover all of it, but it's going to be a lot of information that maybe you haven't explored these avenues yet. Hopefully this is, again, informative. So there are places where being an LGBTQ business owner means that your company is considered to be diverse, right? So there are certain states, we'll explore those. In 2015, Governor Charlie Baker of Massachusetts issued an executive order. This made Massachusetts the first state to include LGBTQ-owned businesses in its supplier diversity program. Okay, so Marriott has a supplier diversity program which includes LGBTQ. So we're going to go and explore some other options. So Ford, IBM, some of the world's largest companies, they have a supplier diversity program as well, right? According to the Human Rights Campaign, 686 major businesses spanning nearly every industry and geographical location were fully committed to the LGBTQ diversity. Here's a website. So it's something, this video will be available to rewatch through all the streaming channels, YouTube and stuff like that. So if you don't have the ability to write this down or snapshot this, again, you'll be able to watch this video again to be able to write this down. It'll take a couple minutes to let you see that there. But it's hrc.org/campaign/corporate-equality-index. So again, something to look into. One of the sources that we're going to share today to help explore as an avenue for funding, right? California. So the California Public Utilities Commission also has a supplier diversity program. So does the city of Baltimore. Cleveland. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you check with local businesses and governments and see if they have such programs, okay? So call your local businesses, local governments, and see if these programs are available to you, okay? You'll be surprised to see that there are a lot available. So the NGLCC, Supplier Diversity Initiative, all right? So that is going to be the National LGBT Business Chamber of Commerce, okay? It's a tool. It's a tool for businesses to make connections with the top corporations in America, many federal government agencies, and other certified companies. All right. Again, some of the largest companies in the world have come together for this initiative. So the SDI works to certify lesbian, gay, bisexual, and/or transgender-owned business enterprises. It also works to provide opportunities for LGBTBs to get exposure in government and corporate procurement processes. The tool works for both contractors and subcontractors, okay? So important note there, contractors and subcontractors. The SDI also includes registration in the NGLCC's exclusive database searched by corporations and other LGBTBs for product and service needs, okay? Again, California Public Utilities Commission, right? The LGBTB certification includes registration in the California Public Utilities Commission centralized supplier database. This database is accessed by participating utilities throughout California. It's valid for 3 whole years, okay? So for both SDI and the California Public Utilities Commission, a business must be 51% LGBTQ owned, okay? So keep that in mind. Majority of the ownership needs to come from an LGBTQ member, okay? So LGBTQ entrepreneurs can take advantage of resources within their local Chamber of Commerce, right? So the NGLCC has local branches in 30 different states as well as DC, right? So this is something that if it's not something available to you in your state, you may need to venture out into another state to take advantage of this opportunity, okay? So a local LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce will connect you with local businesses and resources. So these can include banks. In addition, there are several educational opportunities. So this is huge. Education is half of what we do, right? And what we learn as we go through this process of building out our businesses. So it's really half of our business up here at Credit Suite is informing and educating, sharing information. What we do as a community of business owners to share and educate and uplift each other is huge. So anytime we see an educational opportunity, an opportunity to learn, and then for you to share is huge. So when we're talking about these Chamber of Commerce connections, the educational opportunities is going to be something that you shouldn't overlook because it's what we're all looking for, right? Is information. So of the 20 states where there is no LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce, again, I mentioned this earlier, it may be feasible to travel to a neighboring state. So again, this video is going to be something you would need to rewatch. So if there are states here that you're in, excellent. If you got to figure out a state to travel to, I may go a little fast here on accident, but something that you could always rewatch. But we're going to talk about those bordering states that you could travel to, so you're not traveling that far. And again, a lot of this is done online. So with today's technology, online applications, it's not getting on a horse and taking your buggy across state lines to access information. So a lot of this is done online. So the traveling part is not going to be as bad as what it seems here. So the LGBTQ entrepreneurs in Alabama and Mississippi would probably look into that Louisiana chapter. Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, right? They could try that Massachusetts and Connecticut location. So in Massachusetts, Connecticut is where you're going to see those chapters. Carolinas, right? North, South Carolina, they're going to look at either Virginia or the Georgia locations. Delaware, West Virginia, maybe go up north to Pennsylvania. You could look at Maryland. You could also look at Virginia as well. Okay, so you're seeing the states that are available. So you see Louisiana, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Virginia, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Maryland. Those are some of the examples. Texas and Arizona is available. So if you're in that Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arkansas state, you're going to look at either traveling to Texas or Arizona, probably be your quickest locations there. Kansas and Nebraska, so look into Colorado. Again, it's spread out across the nation. It is worth the effort to look into these funding solutions, these opportunities, okay? Entrepreneurs in Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming, they may need to look into North Dakota or Colorado. That's going to be your two closest geographical locations. Alaska is going to have a tougher time. So Washington State would be their quickest location there. So anything that can be done online doesn't matter. Again, I said this earlier. So there's so much that's going to be able to be accomplished online. I would reach out to the online website to ask those questions on what can be done online, so you can take care of that as well. So the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, the NGLCC, is a national organization dedicated to being the voice of over 1 million American LGBTQ business owners. And I bet the numbers are even larger than that. So we're talking over 1 million business owners, right, who could look at this and see it as an opportunity to help grow and scale their business or access funding. So they offer a certification program for an LGBTQ owned business. Here is a link to their website. So to get certified and become an LGBTQ owned business, you would go to the NGLCC.org website, www.nglcc.org. That's the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce website, okay? So here's some other kind of alternative routes as well. If you haven't explored this, this is a great opportunity for you to investigate this further. So angel investors. If you have not heard of angel investors, then this is going to be something that will be new to you. But if you know about angel investing, maybe you haven't even thought about it. So does your business have a high growth potential? If it does, an angel investor might be interested. So here are some choices in this area. You need to keep in mind angel investing is a venture capital, which means you are selling part of your business. Okay, so keep this in mind. An angel investor is investing in your business. You are selling a part of your business for them to invest. They see that high growth potential, and obviously they're going to want to see a return on that investment. All right, so we've got Gangels. So they co-invest with other venture capital firms to influence social progress via investing in companies with LGBTQ leaderships, right? So bringing awareness, influencing social progress, and investing in companies with LGBTQ leadership, right? So this is going to be a co-investment, like I mentioned, with other venture capital firms, other angel investors. They also are going to invest in some growth stage businesses where they can influence the addition of LGBTQ C-suite talent, right? So bringing somebody in, adding that diversity into a company or program to help as well. So the firm always looks to invest in businesses with LGBTQ representation at top levels. So like the founders, any board members, majority stakeholders or owners. So anybody who's got an LGBTQ staple in the business, that is what the firm is going to be looking to invest in, those type of businesses, okay? They are generally going to invest in companies with the late seed through pre-IPO stages, okay? Website, another link, another resource here. So it's GAINGELS.com, https://GAINGELS.com, another resource. Again, this video can be rewatched almost immediately on YouTube if you'd like to go back and pause and slow down this information. So we need to dig a little bit deeper, right, into some other opportunities. Let's consider pipeline angels. So this firm invests in women and non-binary femme entrepreneurs. So their angel investing bootcamp for investors takes place on both coasts, as does their pitch summit. So look at Pipeline Angels, okay, another firm, and what they invest in. So their pitch summit is an invitation for women and non-binary social entrepreneurs to present their for-profit social ventures for an opportunity to obtain funding, okay? So Again, another funding solution, another funding opportunity, right? So they're looking at women and non-binary entrepreneurs in this scenario, and they're going to help look for social ventures and an opportunity to obtain new funding. PipelineAngels.com, right? So another source to look into if that fits, right? So we are going to talk about equity investing next. So again, this could be a great way to get funding for your business. Republic concentrates on diverse entrepreneurs, including those of all genders, right? So no title, no specific gender that they're looking to help. Their idea is to look for business to invest in outside of the usual places, so California and New York. Investing in Republic is open to anyone. You can invest for as little as $25. So equity investing, looking to get funding for your business. So they're talking about diverse entrepreneurs, including those of all genders. Again, they are looking for businesses to invest in outside of the usual places like California and New York. You can invest. It is open to anyone. You can start at $25. So this is a great opportunity, almost like a crowdsourcing, crowdfunding type scenario. Another link, another website here to share, republic.co/about. So another source here to look into equity investing. And that's people investing in your business to help get you either that startup capital or funding to have that scale, that growth, or an expansion, or anything you need at that point. So the Small Business Administration, SBA, right? Small Business Administration has some outreach initiatives and programs as well. So SBA is going to be some probably the country's largest access to business funding. We are all probably familiar with the SBA process, but the SBA, the Small Business Administration, they do have some initiatives and programs as well. They do support a network of LGBTQ owned businesses. Okay, so they're aware, and they have programs to help. So the idea is to foster economic empowerment in the LGBT business community and provide access to SBA programs and services. Again, SBA programs, SBA services are typically going to be your best rate. They are going to be your best term, your larger lending amount that you're looking for. So an SBA opportunity is one of those kind of ideal scenarios for business owners, right? So there's another link. This one's long, so I apologize. Snapshot this, or you can look at it later through the rewatch. So SBA.gov, right, their basic website. You're going to look at /business-guide /grow-your-business /LGBT-owned-businesses. A long link, but this takes you directly to those programs and services that are available. So in addition, several district offices maintain a strategic alliance with the LGBT business community, okay? So we are also going to look into CDFIs, right? Community Development Financial Institutions. Community Development Financial Institutions. They are private organizations fully focused on lending to low-income or disadvantaged individuals and businesses in their communities. So it could be a bank. You could look at a credit union, loan fund, or even venture capital funds, right? So a CDFI can be any of those scenarios. If you do not qualify for a business loan at a traditional financial institution, which is most of us, right? It's qualifying for a standard traditional business loan at a bank is tough for startup businesses, somebody who doesn't have multiple time of business or a bunch of revenue coming in or really good personal credit. So you're not going to qualify. If you do not, then you need to look for a nearby CDFI. Community Development Financial Institution. So StartOut, right? So join StartOut. It's a nonprofit organization serving LGBTQ entrepreneurs and businesses. So this is another source. This is where you need to be looking into as well. This StartOut, it looks to increase the number, the diversity, and the impact of the LGBTQ business owners. The idea is to bolster community economic empowerment, right? That's a kind of running theme here. Events include educational opportunities, networking, and the bestowing of awards. So the educational opportunities, I've said it earlier. So educational opportunities are huge. It's how we learn. That's how we grow. It's how we get better. So just for that alone, if you haven't done so already, look into StartOut. Here is the startout.org is going to be the link. Another resource here to share, hopefully help out. Again, the idea here with all these resources are for you to educate yourself on what might be available to access funding. We shared a couple of different angel investors, angel pipeline investors, talked about the crowdfunding scenario. So these are all going to just be different tools. One may make sense for you, all may make sense for you, but again, this is just information that we're sharing that we have gathered that hopefully it helps you out on your next steps. So if you do not live near a StartOut city, it's not a problem. So the StartOut Rising extends StartOut's reach to cities where they do not yet have a chapter, right? So this is something that you can establish inside your city. This is something that you can be in the forefront of getting StartOut Rising to extend out to a city where they do not have a chapter. So local LGBTQ entrepreneurs have the opportunity to network via the Meetup platform. So here is a link here. You can help get that ball rolling, startout.org. Again, you're going to look at /chapters, another /startout-rising-chapter. We got more to cover, still a lot to go over here. So it's a bonus, right? We talk about credit line hybrid financing. So anybody who is familiar with Credit Suite knows about, I would say it's probably the #1 program that's utilized for business owners right now to gain access to immediate funding. And we're talking unsecured, so there's no collateral needed. It's good for startups, so you don't need a bunch of revenue. You don't need good time in business. This is a very popular solution for business owners that we've helped out to get started in their business, to get that startup capital, right? So the credit line hybrid, the one thing they're going to look at is personal credit. Okay, so you do have an opportunity to use a credit partner. So somebody else who's close to you or part of the business we can also use their credit to get them qualified for this program. So you can get a line of credit up to $150,000. Okay, I mentioned a no documentation financing. That's huge. So we don't need bank statements. They don't need tax returns. They don't need anything like that. Okay, so you're going to pay 0% interest for up to 18 months. So you're going to be in that 12-month to 18-month range. This is also going to help build your business credit. So if you're familiar with Credit Suite, again, we have a whole program that walks you through a process of building out your business credit profile so it's strong enough to stand on its own. This is going to accelerate that process. This is going to help with establishing your business credit profile. So 0% interest for up to 18 months on these lines of credit, okay? Now, 650 or better FICO is going to be what they're looking for. So again, if you have a partner or somebody close to you who meets those requirements, we can use their credit to help secure you funding for your business, okay? So here is a qualifier form. If you go to this website here, my.creditsuite.com/qualifier-form, this is going to be a qualifier, right? So you're going to put some basic information on this. A advisor is going to reach out to you, ask basic questions, information to qualify you, and then get you submitted over to underwriting. They do a soft inquiry on your credit. So everything you're doing right here is not affecting your credit. You're going to get a free review. You're going to get a pre-approval. It's going to tell you exactly what you qualify for without having a hard inquiry on your credit, okay? So a very, very good process. If you have experience with walking into banks or applying for loans or lines of credit, the very first thing they do is pull your credit, a hard inquiry. Whether you qualify or not, they want to pull your credit. We do it differently. We do a soft inquiry, and we're going to tell you exactly what you're going to project to get if you do want to move forward, okay? We may cover that a little bit more. I may got ahead myself there. So this program is obviously going to be helped to design clients to get funding based strictly on personal credit quality. Again, personal credit is going to be the deciding factor here. No documentation. It's unsecured. We don't need collateral. You don't need to put up your house. You don't need to do anything like that. So we're not going to ask for financials, bank statements, business plans, right? Those things, a resume or any of the other burdensome documents requests that most conventional lenders demand. Again, if you've been through an SBA process or traditional loan process for even personal or business, a lot of documentation involved, a lot of, hey, I need proof of this and a copy of that. This is not that process, okay? So it's very streamlined. Again, it may be covered in the next couple of slides. It takes less than 24 hours. So when your information is submitted over to underwriting, in less than 24 hours, you're going to have a pre-approval. You're going to see exactly what you qualify for, okay? Now, the lenders are going to review the credit report to ensure there are no derogatory items on the report, right? So what they want to do is they don't want to see any open collections, any late payments. Now, 2 years, okay? So the late payments, they're going to go back 2 years to see if there's any late payments, specifically revolving side. So if there are late payments on credit cards, on your personal credit cards in the last 2 years, it's going to be hard to overcome. We may need to let those age past 2 years and reapply. So tax liens, judgments, any types of derogatory items reported. So the open collections, you kind of mentioned it before. So even if you have something that's been written off, but there's a balance owed and it's not a zero balance, that's something they may require for that to be paid before moving forward. Now, inquiries. So inquiries are a big deal. The age of the inquiries help. So no more than 5 inquiries on your credit report. Obviously, your inquiries stay on your credit for 2 years. Past a year, they hold less weight. Past 6 months, they hold less weight. So if you have 5 inquiries, but 3 or 4 of them are over a year old, then it's going to be, you'll be fine. It's still an opportunity for you to get some funding. If you've got 5 inquiries in the last 60 or 90 days, or even in the last 6 months, it's going to be something where we're going to request maybe some inquiries to be removed or let them age a little bit longer, okay? So you should have established credit. So this is going to be specifically the revolving accounts. Again, you are being reviewed for 0% interest business credit cards. In order for them to qualify you for these business credit cards, they want to see how you've managed personal credit cards. They're going to look at your utilization. They're going to look at your limits, right? The age of the accounts, the payment history. We talked about inquiries. How many accounts do you have open? They are going to look at how you've managed your revolving accounts, your personal credit cards, to decide how much you can handle on the business credit card side. A balance is below 40% on your limits. So this is not going to be an overall utilization. If you have one card at 0 balance and one card at 90% utilization or 80% utilization, but you're overall at 40%, it doesn't work. Each individual account needs to be below 40%. Their algorithm, that's what they're going to look at, okay? So 40% utilization or less on each one of your accounts, okay? Some bonus information, I'm not sure if it's shared in this slide or not. No more than 3 of your accounts can carry a balance. So if you have 5 credit cards, 3 of them are allowed to carry a balance up to 40%. The other 2 need to be 0 balance. No more than 3 of your accounts can carry a balance, okay? So something to also kind of throw in there. More traditional funding. So LGBTQ business owners can always try for the same kinds of funding as other companies. These choices are not specific to LGBTQ businesses. There are a lot of choices out there beyond big banks. Think creatively, okay? So alternate financing solutions. It's a big part. If you've been a business owner for a little while, you've had relationships and conversations with other business owners, how they've got their funding, how they got started. If you've Googled business loans, a lot of it's going to be non-traditional companies that are reaching out and saying, hey, we can help get you funding through this, and this route. So think creatively is just saying there's more than just going down to a Bank of America or a bank saying, hey, I'm looking for a loan to start my business, or hey, I'm looking to expand my business. Because again, those are going to be the most drawn out, usually the most document required, the most personal credit driven or revenue driven type of scenarios. So there are a lot of choices out there. So continue to look and think creatively on that side. So some options include micro lenders and crowdfunding. I talked a little bit about crowdfunding earlier. There was a scenario where it kind of seemed like crowdfunding opportunity when you're investing $25 or having people invest in your business for as low as $25. So micro lenders and crowdfunding are some things to look into. Term loans and MCAs, or merchant cash advances. So these are going to be revenue based. So if you're at a point where you've got, let's say you've been in business for a year, you can provide bank statements for the last 3 to 6 months showing that you've got positive revenue. You have maybe $8,000 or $10,000 or more in gross deposits being brought into your business. Then there's an opportunity to secure a loan through a term loan option or even a merchant cash advance. So now, businesses which meet fundability criteria. These things are changing. Financing is changing constantly with everything that's going on in this country, in the world. So what was a requirement 9 months ago or was not a requirement may be a requirement now, or vice versa. And we're seeing these things change as we enter Q4 this year, and it'll be different when we start 2021, okay? So as of right now, some of the criteria, again, 1 year time of business, about $8,000 to $10,000 a month in gross deposits in your business bank account is typically what they're going to look at for those cash advances and term loans. Now, you have even another traditional funding solution is being incorporated, right? So here's some of the requirements that I kind of talked about. So the fundability criteria, I mentioned having bank statements, I mentioned having revenue and certain amount of time of business. But being incorporated obviously would be one thing that they're going to want to see. Having a separate deliverable brick and mortar business and address, separate from your home is what they're saying here. Having a professional email address and phone number. So not using a Gmail, maybe not using a cell phone number, but setting up a proper business email address, right? It's going to make you look really good on paper. It's going to look professional. Having a phone number that's registered with a 411 would be a scenario, and building good business credit. So that is what you're doing, is you're setting yourself up to establish good business credit. All right. So as the times continue to change, every possibility, even more financing options will open up. Again, I mentioned this just a couple seconds ago. It is constantly changing. What you know today is going to be different in 30 days. It's just the way we work. We follow the market. We talk about the pandemic. We talk about how well businesses are doing versus how poor the lending is. We talk about the housing market. So all of these things are going to be factors when you're looking at lending or loans from banks. So because it's constantly changing, you need to keep looking into, you need to keep investigating. So always educate yourself. Anytime there's an opportunity for you to learn or read or sit in on a webinar or go to a seminar, you need to do it. You need to be on top of the latest information. Again, especially we're talking funding and financing, it will change. It's probably changed from the time that I started this podcast here. So even more financing options will open up. That's why you need to keep looking. So if you don't qualify now, it's not saying that you won't qualify ever. Try again in 30 days, in 6 months. Just keep looking into those options. So LGBTQ business owners can find their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And we're going to do a quick recap here. So the LGBTQ entrepreneurs have several options for financing. Thinking outside the box is going to help a lot. So not thinking just traditional banks is what we're saying. There's specialty private money groups and equity investing. Look to the NGLCC for help. You're going to check into your state, city, and local diversity programs through those websites, so links that we mentioned earlier. Again, watch this video and take a look at those. Look into options such as our credit line hybrid program. And that's that business credit card program where your personal credit is going to qualify you for 0% interest credit cards up to $150,000 with no documentation. And they report to your business credit bureau and help build and establish your business credit report, okay? So that credit line hybrid program, again, is very popular. There's money out there. You just got to know where to go. You got to be aggressive. You have to ask for it, but there's money out there. So get access to every legitimate funding program in one place. You pay us no fees ever. You can use your loan volume to get lower rates and fees. business blueprint to graduate to SBA loans. So again, those SBA loans are going to be something that's kind of that carrot that gets dangled in front of you until you qualify, whether it's through business credit or personal credit or revenue or collateral or time in business. When you are in a position to qualify for an SBA loan, then that's your best rate term typically. But we have that blueprint to kind of get you in a position to be qualified for an SBA loan. So never look for funding again. So all of your solutions can be found in one place, which is Credit Suite. So the 877-600-2487 is going to get you on the phone with an advisor. They are going to ask basic questions. They'll have whatever specific program that you're looking for or looking into, whether it's build business credit, access those credit cards. We'll get you in the right place and get you in contact with the right people, okay? So again, some contact information here for you to share, send an email, give us a call. Let's see if there's any more. I don't think that's it. Yep, I think that's the last slide. So again, my name is Jimmy Harrell. So if you guys have any questions, thank you for joining. Please send them over. We will respond to them ASAP. But from here, we will be signing out. Thank you so much.